Hello and happy Tuesday. This is Wendy Lee. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator and I'm really excited that you are joining me today. I am going to do this fun, super cool little treat holder with you. So we are going to be featuring the Little Treats stamp set and coordinating dies, which are lots of fun. We've done a couple projects with this before. Hello Gwen, so glad you're here today. And hopefully people will find us and will jump on. I'm testing out a new light, so you guys will have to let me know if this is better, if you can see better with this brighter light. Hi Tammy, hey Patty, so glad you're here. Patty, I hope you're feeling better. Oh my goodness. Okay, so we're gonna make one of these little treat holders. So I posted on my blog, I think it was Monday, this super cute treat holder that was made by one of my team members, Sheila Tatum, for our team swap that we had this past month. And I thought it was so cute, I wanted to go ahead and make a Christmas version with you guys and teach you how to do it. So I had to play with it and figure it out. It's not too difficult. So I made two versions so far, and we'll do a third version today. But the first one I did, actually, I did this one first. First one I did, I tried using the magnets in here, which is great, but I felt like it was a little too chunky in this circle area right here. So, and it was a little chunky in here as well because the magnets do have some height to them. So I had to add some dimensionals in there. So I didn't love that finished product. So then I tried it with Velcro, and of course I've got some super crazy strength Velcro. I think what Sheila used is a much nicer quality. It's just real flat, not a high profile, so it works really nicely for this. So I used what I have on hand, and that's what I'm going to use again today to show you guys how to put this together. So all right, perfect. So of course, would it be nice if I could see comments? That would be great, but I'm not seeing them. So we'll just deal the best that we can, right? Anyway, I'll see if I can grab it, but it doesn't look like it. Okay, so I'll do the best I can on comments. But of course, you guys leave me questions that you've got in the comments, and I will go back and answer any questions that there are, but I will try to capture them as they come in as well. Hey Tammy, so glad you're here. All right, so let's get started. So I am going to slide these over out of the way, hopefully. And then I am gonna bring in, oh, I didn't grab my paper trimmer. It's on the other side of the table and I can grab it. I'm gonna go ahead and do that because I wanna show you guys how to make this box insert of this. So let's start off with our real red cardstock. So you're gonna notice in the supply list, which I will add to the description of the video when we are done, but you're going to notice in the supply list that it's going to list multiple colors. So for this piece right here, it's 3 5/8 by 2 1/4. And then I've scored it at 1 1/2 and 2 1/8, or you could do 1 1/2 in from each side, either way. But it's going to list Real Red or Mossy Meadow because I used Mossy Meadow on these. So I wanted to make sure that you could create any version that you want to on here. So, all right, so I've pre-scored this. This one was pretty easy, so I'm going to go ahead and bring in my bone folder and give that a nice crease on each of those folds. All right, so that is going to be like the little book part of our treat holder here. Then I've got a piece that is, let's see, this is 3 inches by 1 inch, and let me rotate it around. I scored it at 7/8 and then again at 1 1/2. Again, I will put all these measurements in the description, and I'm going to go ahead and just run my bone folder on those. Now, this is going to be the band that's going to wrap around and keep our little treat holder closed. Next, we've got the box base, so the inside box. So this piece is 3 7/8 by 4 5/8. And this is the part I wanted to show you how to score and cut. So we're going to score this at 5/8 of an inch and 1 1/4 inch on all 4 sides. And you know, I think I'm going to grab my Simply Scored. I find when I'm doing multiple score lines, I actually prefer to use the Simply Scored versus my paper trimmer. So let's move some of this out of the way. We'll bring our Simply Scored in, and hopefully you can see the measurements at the top of my board here and that this won't fall off. So before I get started, so that I don't mess it up, I'm gonna put a marker at 5/8 of an inch and a marker at 1 1/4. That way I make sure that I score it at the right place. You're also gonna notice, or you might notice, on my board you see these lines marked in. So that is because I have taken a Sharpie every inch on my board just to mark it. So sometimes when I'm using my Simply Scored, I'm changing the angle. So let's say I wanted to score diagonally. I could line the point up along the marker and score it diagonally with this plate. So I hope that makes some sense, but that's why mine is like that. So I'm going to use the stylus that comes with it. You can use whatever end makes you happy. There's a smaller ball and a wider ball, and I'm pushing this over into the corner, and I'm going to score that at this at 5/8 and 1 1/4, and we're going to do this on all 4 sides. Okay. One more. All right, so much faster than pulling open the paper trimmer. Hey, Barbara, so glad you're here today. I'm sure I'm missing people because, like I said, it's difficult for me to see the comments as I'm playing with this loveliness here. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and fold along each of these score lines and run my bone folder so I've got a nice crisp edge. This will also, I think, help me see where I need to clip away. So I'm going to do this on all 4 sides. One more. Perfect. All right, now let's create our box base. So I want to clip in, I'm going to come into this second from the edge score line, and I'm going to clip in all the way to this second score line on the opposite side. So 2 over and 2 up. So let's go ahead and clip that. Hopefully that makes sense. So that's right there what I'm clipping. Let's go ahead and do that on both sides. Okay, and then I'm going to rotate it and do it on the other opposite end. And I'll try to go slow enough that if you were to create this and watch the video later, that you'll be able to recreate this. All right, perfect. Now the way I'm doing my box is I am having a double side fold in here to give it a little more strength. So that's where you see these two layers right here. But I need a tab to fold in, but I don't need all this extra stuff. So these 2 squares on the outside of each side, I'm going to go ahead and clip those away because we don't need those. Well, I'm not very straight in my cutting. That's okay. This is pretty forgiving. All right, so hopefully that makes sense. So I'm going to repeat that on the opposite side and clip that away. All right, and then rotate it. We're going to do it on the other end. Blah. Cut this away. So I don't do a lot of 3D projects. It's not a go-to place for me, but my friend Dana Sullivan, I don't know if Dana's on today. Hey, Amelia. But my friend Dana Sullivan has challenged me to do a little bit more 3D when we're doing our Stampin' Escapes because we split the project design on that. And she never gives me the easy things that are for me to do. We always challenge each other. So it's good. It's really good. I'm learning a lot. So I thought, well, as I'm coming across these fabulous 3D things, maybe you're not one that's comfortable with 3D and you'd like to give them a try. So I figured, let's do it together. Okay, so the last thing I want to do is this is going to be my little tab that's going to folding in. But I don't need all this extra length. So let's go ahead and clip away that outer square. So one more square. Hopefully this makes sense. Whoops. That will be easier if I move that out of the way. All right. So hopefully your piece looks something like my piece. Now, I also find that when I'm folding these over, because I don't always cut so straight, I do better if I miter my edges. So that's just taking a little angled cut off so that when you fold it, if you're a little wide, it's going to stay out of your way, is kind of the best way for me to say it. So on these outer tabs, I'm just gonna slightly clip away. Well, it helps if it's not sticking to your scissors, right? So hopefully that's what I mean there, is miter that corner. So let's move this out of the way. Look, I don't even have it clipped up enough. Clip it up a little bit more. So on this little tab, I'm gonna do the same thing. Let's go ahead and miter those little corners. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's very forgiving. I did it again on that side. See how it's all wonky? It's because I don't have it clipped far enough on the fold. Let's see if we can get that a little bit more. All right, so that side is done. Let's rotate and let's do this tab here. Okay, we're gonna rotate and repeat on this side what we did on the last side. So let's get those tabs mitered. I don't want to clip in too far. Now, I don't want to do this middle section. I just want to do the outer tab. And again, that's going to give me a little cleaner results when I fold this closed. So I don't know what I'm cutting off. Maybe an eighth, a skinny eighth maybe. All right, rotate last side. All right, there we go. Our box base is ready to assemble. All right, so you could use tear and tape, you could use liquid adhesive, you can use whatever makes you happy. I'm gonna try the stamp and seal and see if this gives me the results I want. So I'm gonna put it on my 4 longer tabs on each of my outer sections. Okay. Oh, this is Seal Plus. I might have said Stamp and Seal, but it's Seal Plus. All right. Then I'm going to bring in some glue dots. You don't really need these, but I want to temporarily be able to hold these tabs into place. So I'm going to fold these tabs down and go ahead and add a glue dot on each one of these because it's going to help hold it together for me as I fold these sides down. Of course, now I'm going to have a sticky piece to deal with here. All right, let's move those glue dots out of the way. All right, so I want this tab to stick into this piece here. So I'm going to fold it up and align those corners. Hopefully you can see that. And that's going to temporarily hold that in place for me while I do the rest of the box. So I'm going to repeat that on the other corner. Hopefully this is making sense so you guys can see this. All right, and then do the same thing on the opposite end. And like I said, a glue dot's fine because I just want to hold it while I'm getting the box all put together. All right, so hopefully you can see that. So the next thing I'm going to do is I want to take the short ends and fold them down because then I can cover these tabs and secure those into place really, really good. So I'm going to do that on both ends. Okay, and see, it hides up all my mess. And then I'm going to fold my longer ends down in as well. And there's my cute little box. Now, let's go ahead and run our bone folder along those edges just to make sure we have a nice adherence and a good crisp edge. All right, so there's my nice sturdy candy box. Yay! I'm gonna go ahead and put candy in it. So this fits Hershey Nuggets fabulously. So we're gonna just put a couple of those in there. It gives me a little stability to have the candy. You don't have to do it at this point. You could do it later, that's fine. But let's go ahead and start to assemble the outer cover. All right, so I am going to pull in some designer paper and I am using the, I think it's the Heartwarming Hugs Designer Series paper. And it's got some fun prints. It's not necessarily Christmas, it depends on how you decorate it, but it's got some really good red and green colors in it. So with the real red, the Mossy Meadow, the Pear Pizazz, and then some white sprinkled in there. It's just some really nice designs. So this is 1 1/8 by 2 1/8, this designer paper here. Now, could I pull out my stamp and seal and not use the Seal Plus? I sure could, but since it's right here, I'm gonna go ahead and use it. So this is gonna stick together really good, right? All right, so we're just gonna put that on this little front cover, okay? And then on the opposite side, on my inside, is where I want to put my sentiment. So I've got a piece of Whisper White that is the same size that my designer paper was. And I'm going to bring in my Real Red ink pad. And hopefully I am in camera here. I had to change my setup just a little bit. I've got an old pad that I'm using today. I had to change my setup just a bit to accommodate for this light that I'm playing with. But hopefully it makes it so that you guys can see really well. Not as many shadows. All right, so I have stamped my sentiment in real red. Cute. A little treat for someone sweet. And then we're going to go ahead and adhere this down as well. Make sure I'm in the right place. Yep, because how many times do we turn this and not realize we've turned it? I'm guilty of that for sure. Okay, so before I adhere this box in, I want to do one more thing. I want to go ahead and put this arm on there because I found that it was a little bit easier if I assembled that first. So we're going to use some of our CL Plus and we'll put that down in place. Great. So that is going to come around and close it this way. Okay, now I'm ready to put my box in. So I just want to adhere it right in here. So you could run your adhesive on the back, but I am going to take the lazy way out. Let's pull that chocolate out for just a moment. I'm going to use liquid adhesive because it's going to give me a moment to be able to adjust. I found that I was more successful after my trials with my other two, that I was more successful if I use liquid adhesive. Now I'm going to slide these back in just to give me a little more leverage. And I am putting the box so it's butted up against this score line here. And then I want it as centered as I can, left to right, or top to bottom, I guess you could say. And then I'm just going to double check this so that when this folds over, it hides it. All right, perfect. So I'm going to push down a little bit on my candy to hold that in place. All right, so that'll take a moment to dry. But while that's happening, we can go ahead and make our cute little decoration. So I've got a scrap of Whisper White, and I'm going to bring in the present image from the stamp set and Mossy Meadow ink. So let's go ahead and stamp this down. Now I did find that if my ink pad was really, really juicy, I like to keep my ink pads pretty darn juicy. I don't like dry stamped images. But I did find, like, see, my red was so juicy that it kind of bled. But the green is not quite as juicy, so it's doing a little bit better. So there's a fine place on how dry or wet your ink pads are. So then I will bring in my little treat dies, and I'm going to use the present, and we will run this through our Stampin' Cut and Emboss and cut that out. Perfect. So we have this cute, cute little present. And today I think I'm going to add a little Wink of Stella. I'm going to shake that up. I love Wink of Stella. It adds a nice little shimmer. And I'm just going to add it to this box top and this side here. Oh, I hope you can see it. It looks really good from what I'm seeing. Trying to color in the lines. I don't know. Ooh, that's pretty. And that adds a nice touch. I didn't know what it would look like. All right. Nice. Now, do you ever have trouble with your Wink of Stella where you can't get enough shimmer to come out and so you squeeze it and it blobs? So when you do that, I like to pull in my silicone craft sheet and squeeze it over the top of that. So if it blobs, it doesn't blob on my project. It blobs here, and then I can just pick up what I want to use and put it on my project. I don't always remember to do that, but it is handy dandy to remember. All right, cute present, love that. So now we want to go ahead and decorate this here. Now Sheila used, and I did as well, she used the small circle from the Tasteful Labels dies. So this one right here. So that's what I did as well. I played with a few other things, but I don't know if it's because I saw her project first or not, but I just love the way it turned out. So I too used the same thing. So I've got two of those. And so I'm going to go ahead and put one on the back first, and then we'll put the one on the front. So I'm going to go ahead and put some of this adhesive. I could use liquid adhesive as well. Might have been safer for me to use liquid adhesive, But I'm going to do the back side first, and then that's going to come around, and then I'm going to put this one right on top of it. Might have been easier to do the front side first, but I'm going to do it this way because that's what's working for me. All right, before I get too crazy, I think I should go ahead and put my Velcro on here. Actually, no, I don't think I want to. I'm going to go ahead and put this down. Let's use some liquid adhesive on this. I was hesitating because I was like, oh, then this has got to dry, but that's okay. You guys know this liquid glue makes me a little bit crazy. All right, so the reason I chose liquid glue is because I want to line this shape up a little bit on the top to bottom. So it does have a little of a scallop-ish edge, I guess you could say, so it's not a flat circle. So that's why I use liquid adhesive, so that I could rotate it after I got it on. So we're just squeezing it a little bit, letting it set in place. Great. So cute. I love it. All right, now I'm going to put the Velcro on. All right, so I've got a piece of Velcro that is a little bit crazy as far as how strong this is. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut some of these fuzzy loops off to kind of make it not quite as strong. We'll see if this works. It might not actually work, but why not? Can't hurt to try. I'm thinking that maybe then it won't be so crazy strong because these are pretty strong Velcro dots that I've got. Okay, we're going with that. So then I'm just going to put these back together, see if they still work. Oh yeah. Okay, great. All right, so then I will peel the backing paper off one side and lay that in the center of this, and I'm going to put down some good pressure to try to get that to adhere, and then we'll take the backing paper off the other side. We should be able to just close our box, and that will be perfectly placed where we want it to be. So I'm just going to squeeze just a moment. I want that to adhere down really, really well. Cute. Now, can we open it? Yay! Okay. I love it when it works out. Cute. I like it. All right, so let's go ahead and decorate this little guy with our present. So you could pop it up. You could do it flat. I did this one flat, and then I added the bow. This one I popped up, and it's too much. It's too much popped up. Sheila's was nice and simple and flat, and that's what I liked about it. And I think on this one I will also do the present flat because it just doesn't need the extra height. So here again, let me bring in my liquid adhesive. I could use the Stampin' Seal, but I think I'm just going to put a little bit of liquid adhesive and get that in place. That way I can slide it around once I get it on if I don't like how it looks. Yay, cute. All right, I think we need a little bling. Let's pull in some rhinestones. So I've got some red rhinestones. I've almost used them all in this pack, but I'm going to pull them in and take your pick. And let's go ahead and add a little rhinestone at the base of this bow. Ooh, I like that. Cute. Just to change it up a little bit. That's all we need. Cute, right? So it looks very different, I think, depending on the color combination you choose and how you choose to decorate it, but they're all so stinking cute and would make a really great stocking stuffer or just, drop a little gift off at a coworker's, surprise your kids. Maybe you don't want to give your kids chocolate. Maybe you do. I would love to have chocolate every day. Yummy, right? They probably wouldn't want a special dark chocolate like I do, but I put the gold packaging in there. I think I have, I've got silver in that one. You can do whatever makes you happy. So, all right, I hope that you guys love these. And, I have such great inspiration from my team. If you have a shopping list that is $150 or more, you might consider joining my Stampin' Up! Team. Our Diamonds Demonstrator team has a lot of fun. and we have some crafting time together. And obviously we do team swaps and people make some fun gifts and cards. So we'd love to have you join us. It's a great way to save a lot of money on your purchases. You get a 20% discount as soon as you get started. So why not save a little money and get all your goodies. All right. Well, that's it for me today. Again, I will update the video description to include the complete supply list and cut dimensions, so you've got everything you need in case you need to order some supplies to recreate this project. Thanks for joining me today, and I hope to see you guys next Tuesday. All right, bye for now.